All right, the next match is really special to WrestleMania. It is definitely going to be one of the main drawing attractions that brings wrestling fans from past and present together to be watching the WWE Network. There's definitely going to be a lot of talk from, I guess you can say, the so-called UFC fans who used to watch wrestling to see how Ronda Rousey is going to do in the ring and being a part of the spectacle that is WrestleMania. I think that Ronda Rousey coming to WWE is going to be the biggest thing that could bring in those fringe wrestling fans to come back, even if it is for only one night, to see what they're missing. Ronda Rousey at this time right now is probably not going to be the best wrestler. She definitely is not the best talker when it comes to setting up promos, to setting up her matches. But I think that her drawing power from being able to beat people in UFC and have matches that lasted, less than a minute and being able to knock somebody out in one punch is what's going to bring it to the table. Definitely the armbar is something that we've been looking forward to seeing in a WWE ring since WrestleMania 31 when she jumped the barricade with The Rock and was able to hip toss on Triple H and throw Stephanie as well. This is a match that came together over the last period of a year. Definitely for the last while, we've been wondering how Kurt Angle was going to come back to WWE. It looked like when Angle signed his deal to come back to WWE to be put into the WWE Hall of Fame, it was just going to be as sort of a I guess you can say an out-of-the-ring performer, with him being the GM of Monday Night Raw, and having sort of like that feel-good guy that is able to deliver a promo, have good, be able to be believable in the role that, even though he's not still the guy that he once was, if stuff did get frisky in the ring, he would be able to handle himself. And I think that's what Triple H is. I apologize, that is what Kurt Angle is in the role of GM, especially being able to be somebody who's going to stand up to Triple H and Stephanie and not just get walked over in a role like, Teddy Long did when he was in commissioner of SmackDown back in the day. Kurt Angle came back at TLC. He wrestled in that match replacing Roman Reigns, and it sort of was like a little bit of a Band-Aid sticker just to be there. He was a part of the Monday Night Raw team. At Survivor Series, being the captain of a team, he had to go out there and make sure that Team Raw was able to get the win. And even though him and Triple H didn't see eye to eye, it took until now for them to really pay off on that storyline of Survivor Series. In the opening match, or in the opening video of my full show preview, I talked about the fact that Survivor Series to me was probably the most I've been hyped for a wrestling show in quite a while. And to me, it sort of was a little bit of a letdown, and it led to my decision of basically not to go to WrestleMania this year. It seemed like it got really hyped up, and at the end, it was sort of a letdown with the Triple H show. Triple H is always going to be one of my favorite guys. I always look forward to his matches at WrestleMania. I can honestly tell you the match against Rollins last year wasn't the best match that I've ever seen, but, like the match against Daniel Bryan, the match against, at Sting, even though it wasn't the best wrestling match of all time, was really, really entertaining. And it's one of those matches that I know is going to be on every WrestleMania card. Even if it looks like he's not going to be getting the win, it's something that I really, really look forward to. It's easy to see, when talking about this match, Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey are going to get the win. This is going to be the kickoff of Ronda Rousey actually being a competitor in WWE. WWE is really talking about the fact that Ronda Rousey is going to be a part of the main roster. She's going to be a little bit different. For the most part, she wants to be treated like she is, Charlotte or Bayley or Sasha Banks. She's not going to be a part of every pay-per-view. And that's a little bit of trying to not make the spectacle that is Ronda Rousey, dry up. Brock Lesnar is the guy that, comes in for special pay-per-views. He's going to be part of WrestleMania. He's going to be a part of Survivor Series, SummerSlam, but, you know, he's not on every Monday Night Raw to build up to that. So I'm not sure when Ronda's, you know, storyline is going to end, and she's going to take a leave of absence, and she won't be, you know, traveling to Monday Night Raw and doing TVs and things like that. But it is cool to see that Ronda is committed to WWE to the point where she's not going to take television off, and she is going to be a part of WWE to make sure that, you know, they're able to draw numbers, especially in this very important time when WWE is maybe trying to lure in getting a new television deal with Fox. That, you know, they still have to support numbers to see if maybe they're not able to go to Fox, if they can stay with USA, and how much USA is going to pay. And Ronda, as of right now, is probably the biggest star that they have, being bigger than John Cena, and definitely, I think, being more of a draw than Brock Lesnar is. Brock, you know, did a house show last week where he wrestled in Chicago. The match was against Kane. It lasted less than a minute, and the fans were very easy to understand that they were upset that they didn't get their money's worth. That they felt Brock should have been out there longer, even though it was a match against Kane and everybody knew that he was going to win. You know, maybe he should have, you know, suplexed him around a little bit more than he did. Maybe, you know, sell a little bit, act like Kane was going to be beaten on him. But less than a minute doesn't really make much sense. And, you know, that's always been my argument against why I think WWE is a better value when you're looking at pay-per-view dollars. Going against UFC, because although it is really cool to see, you know, Ronda Rousey slap the armbar on somebody and make him tap out in, you know, 15, 16 seconds, but then when you have to step back to the table when that bill comes from the cable company, and you're like, man, I just paid $60 for 14 seconds of action, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I know that they're going to draw up a really good match where Ronda Rousey's able to get the best of Stephanie, and I'm sure that, you know, Triple H will be putting a beating on Kurt Angle, making it look like they're going to be able to pull out the win. But definitely Stephanie's going to be doing some tapping, and we'll have the start of Ronda Rousey's career, WWE starting off with a big W.